Black Series Edition LLC with the gunmetal crystal edge technology screens, and soon our new company under the FLE VT technology. Man, quite a busy day today. Sorry for hearing me yawning. It was a really, really busy day today. So we were blessed to have multiple locations set up for the summertime to be able to do a lot of demonstrations in different locations and multiple locations, quite a lot. Excuse me. And these are going to be really nice areas we're going to be doing these demonstrations at. I was able to acquire a couple of art studios and meeting conference rooms, which I like because there's going to be a lot of light in these environments. That's why I chose them, because ton of lighting, big windows, lots of light in the environment. The pricing is extremely reasonable, for what we're paying, and this will give me a chance to be able to move about in multiple locations and show the screens off in multiple different environments. So this is fantastic. As I said before, I'm setting up where I'm going to get up a second line for my phone, so that way I can run my cell phone through a C charger slash HDMI cord, and this will allow me to have the freedom to be able to, not bothered with the internet or anything they may have over there. Even though they have all the places we're at, the internet does come with it. But I just rather just have my own. But anyway, so I'm happy about this. This will give us a chance to show our technology not only works beyond the home, but basically can work in commercial environments. And this is something that's needed, very well needed. If you can show a screen operating in a commercial environment, which is going to have 10 times more light than the average home, then you got a screen that can work just about anywhere. So the FLE technology is going to have it's absolutely, from what I've seen already from the showrooms, man, these things are amazing. Lots of light, tons of windows. One of them has a skylight. This thing is going to hit right directly on top of the screen. So we're going to be in there with quite a few projectors. I've already explained to them what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be setting up. And on top of that, some of the companies we're already talking to are interested in seeing this new technology, especially a black projection screen, because the guy kept telling me, like, it's black? It's black? Well, yeah, it's a black screen. Mine, they got all white screens throughout the entire office building. So this is going to be potential major contracts. Also, too, there is a particular building that we're looking at. Got a chance to contact them. They're going to be setting up. And I know it's going to be God's will that we get set up with the ad tech in that building, because, again, this is going to give the technology and the ad tech major, major exposure. It's going to allow our technology to be seen in a different light. I have tried this before with trying to stay online and then, give out contracts so we could have other people do this for us. But it just became so much of a headache. It did. It became so much of a headache. It just became so much of a problem. And the reason it became so much of a problem because, I felt that they didn't really share the same passion that we had when it came to giving people contracts to be able to market our products. They just didn't have that same passion. And it's just, they really didn't see the technology the way we did. So, it's better that we have full control over all things. And in this way, I can go into an establishment, the owner himself of the technology, show off the technology, explain the technology, and display and do the recordings. Because, again, we just went through so much of a headache. That's why I'm not interested in any contracts at all, period. Now, with these companies we're dealing with, they may want to require contracts. Not chances are we're not going to do a contract. It's just too much of a headache. It is. Constantly have to request people to update, to put more information on the site, stuff like that. Just things we have to constantly ask all the time. And from my experience of doing contracts, not too happy with it at all, period. And you're better off just doing it yourself. No one's going to do it better than yourself. You're never going to find anybody that's going to work harder than you. That's how it's going to come down to. It's literally going to come down to that. There's the reason why I decided in 2024 and in 2023 just stay away from contracts, because we would hire people, we give them contracts, they have the opportunity to make incredible amounts of money, and you're stepping on, you're coming into an offline environment that doesn't even know our technology. And this is extremely good because it's not hard to sell the technology. It's been tested. You can literally walk into any showroom with that FLE or any technology we develop and display, because all the tests were done. And it's so simple, but we just got so many excuses on this and that and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And I just got to the point, so you know what? I'm just going to do this myself, because I'm so sick and tired of the excuses. So we're not issuing any contracts at all, period. Do you have any idea, like, the opportunity for those that we issue these contracts to that you have physically just lost? You have lost extremely serious capital. Mind you, you are working with a technology or people at the end of the day that can develop technology within minutes. That FLE technology was sitting on top of my refrigerator, sprayed to a piece of glass, and I was sitting there contemplating about throwing it in the trash because I didn't think it was even worth anything, which I got to stop doing that, because all God's technology is worth something. Just sometimes get overwhelmed with technology we're blessed to have, and I'm thinking, oh, this is not going to be something that I'm probably going to be interested in. And I was thinking about throwing this in the trash and find out this technology is unfreaking believable. So I have got it set up so I have full control over all things. You know, I thought it'd be easier to stay back, manufacture the product, and have other people do the legwork by going in and advertising the technology. But you know what? I'm going to advertise it. It's so much easier, so easy. I don't even know why I didn't even think of doing it that way. I mean, literally, renting out a space is cheap. I got a couple places renting out that are around. We don't want nothing in a yearly lease. No, we don't want a yearly lease at all, period. I need something that I want to be to change location. So to have an area where I'm going to be there for an entire year, that's something I don't want. I'm looking for areas that we can rent out by the hour. This is much more convenient for me. A day or an hour is fantastic. For me to go in and set up takes no time at all. For us to position screens and we want, really doesn't take any time at all. And then on top of that, consider the fact that in 2 hours time, I can literally accumulate multiple videos. Even one video is all we're going to need in that environment, and a lot of pictures. That's basically about it. But other than that, that's basically about it. I think I keep the videos short and sweet at around 20 minutes is all we need for each one, because sometimes I go a little long into the videos. But 20 minutes for each one. I can actually get quite a bit of videos out of that for 20 minutes. Keep it short, but not short enough where it comes up on a shorts, because I don't want shorts. Well, a couple of shorts. I think I'll take a couple of shorts. But mainly, if I'm going to be posting on a site, shorts is something we can't use because for some reason the shorts don't post, but the regular videos will post. So I'm excited and happy about that. But going back to basically allowing other people to sell our products, it became a headache. It became a real headache. It became a really headache. Just to do it that way. I mean, like I said, we had some good people in there, but it just became, after a while, it became a headache. So I'm just not going to issue any contracts out at all, period. We're just going to make sure we have control over all of that. I'm looking at some stuff I wrote down on the napkin. Yeah, so this summer's going to be very busy. Extremely busy. Hold on for a minute. I'm trying to get a piece of paper in my hand so I can write down some of these places I was checking out today. I got a chance to talk to these people. Now, I thought about it. There was a company we're interested in distributing our screens. I'm thinking about not doing that. I'm thinking about just contacting these companies and just send them a sample of FLE technology. That's pretty much it. Just send them a sample of the technology. It's up to them if they want to put it against their products. You know what I mean? It's a free screen they're going to be receiving from us. And this will give them an idea of exactly what they're going to be up against and what they're going to be dealing with. We're going to make it so it's only bought on our sites and our sites only. That's it. The only way you can acquire that technology would be through us and through us only. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because, again, this gives us full control. If I decide that I do not want to sell my technology to a particular company or business because I just don't like the way they carry themselves, I have that power to deny them due to the fact that you can only go through me to get it. You cannot go around me and go to another place and buy it. You can only go through us. So that's why I'm going to make it so in 2024 that all technology we develop can only be sold by us and us only, which means you can't go anywhere else. If we basically get into a situation, I've been through this before, customers have been quite rude and really nasty, and I deny your order, you can't go anyplace else to get it. You can't go behind my back, and you can't go here, and you can't go there. You would have to go directly through us to get it, and that's why I'm designing it that way. I don't think we have, from our track record of being over 10,000 videos and demonstrations that date back to 10 years back, even great paints and everything you can possibly think of, I don't think we are going to have a problem proving our technology's capabilities. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all, period. Any screen we come against, we know we can take to the fact that years and years of testing, especially on certified technology, we know exactly that we are way beyond their point of what they call a product that is well deserving of its name. So if we were to able to walk into an establishment that maybe Elite Screens may have roots there, we can easily uproot your contract and actually overturn it with no problem due to the fact that our technology is way beyond your screens, including screen innovation also too. Our technology is far more advanced than your screens. I mean, have your product down here. It's an amazing product at the end of the day, but you can't reach an infinity contrast level. Our technology can. Therefore, that makes our screen much more powerful than yours. The whole purpose of gunmetal technology, they don't brag about their white levels. They brag about the ability to be able to maintain very, very dark levels. And you can't call your screen technically pulling a black level if at the end of the day, you're not reading an infinity contrast level. So in the years to come, if your technology doesn't have the capability to pull an infinity black level, we will challenge your company in court. No one has the right to make that statement but us. Unless you have a screen that is physically black and you can receive an infinity contrast level, you're the only ones that can say that. Other than that, if you don't have it, you can't say it. You have to say exactly what your screen does, and you pull shades of darker grays. That's it. So I don't think we'll have a hard time winning in court. An infinity black screen versus gunmetal on basically challenging them who pulls the better contrast level, we won't have a problem with winning that one. Which means you're going to have to stand down and you're going to have to take your product and name it as what it is. We pull a shade of gray. You don't actually pull black. Now, mind you, people are saying at the end of the day, well, if I get a particular projector, it doesn't make a difference what projector you buy. I don't care how high the contrast level is. Your screen can't read it at all, period. If you're reading an infinity black contrast level, it doesn't make a difference what the contrast is on your projector. You will read it no matter what. So if you have to switch over to an expensive machine to try to get your shades to pull up a little bit darker, then you have already failed. Now, people think at the end of the day, oh, he's bragging. No, it's not bragging. It is what it is. If you're going to talk about having the fastest car and this, that, and the other way at the end of the day, you have to prove that at the end of the day, that you have the fastest car. You cannot match an infinity black level with a gunmetal or gray screen. You don't read 100% black. If you have to switch over to projectors that have high amounts of contrast in order to do so, again, keep in mind, this costs the consumer more money. You don't get that contrast for free. You pay for that contrast. The higher contrast on the projector, the more you're going to spend for it. So if you got to spend all this money to receive higher, darker levels, and you have to be still in ambient controlled environment, is another thing I question too. I question the ambient light rejection screens. If you have ambient light rejection, there is no way in the world you should be in a controlled environment. Either you have it or you don't. It's one or the other. So there's a lot of companies I do plan to challenge. At the end of the day, I do plan to take question these companies. This is why, again, they do not want me at these expos because, again, you know, I'll be in there with an infinity black screen and I'd be like, oh, no, you're not picking up what you think you're picking up. Your screen can't register it. And if you want, you can come over to my booth. Hope you got sunglasses because our booth is going to be extremely bright. I guarantee if you lay that screen against my screen, it is not going to be the color you think it is. It's not going to pick up anything at all, period. You know, but, you know, hopefully, you know, they go full circle, and I think they will. Once we send them out the screens, I think they'll get a chance to look at it and understand that, you know, what we're talking about. I think the thing about it is when I talk to companies who make these darker screens, and I say, how come you guys don't have a black screen by now? And the first thing they'll say is, well, black screens, you know, they're too dark and they don't pull high white levels, and they have a problem with fully lit environments. You can't use them in well lit environments due to the fact that the screens are too dark to generate a high enough white level. The other person sat there and said that our technology requires, we require 4,000, 5,000 lumen projectors. Let me explain something to you about that theory right there. First things first, I own more projectors. I have more projectors than both of you two combined together. I have lots of projectors. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to be increasing my inventory. I'm getting more projectors. So I can go on my search engine. I can do 50 lumens. I can do 200 lumens. I can do 600 lumens, 800 lumens, 1,000 lumens, 1,200 lumens, you name it. I can do about majority, a ton of projectors under the 2,000 mark. Now, when I use my screen on a 4,000, 5,000, because it has the right to be on a 3,000 to 4,000 screen, because it can show that it can drop below that. This is what you call a projector swap out demonstration, which means in the middle of the demonstration, you can swap your projector out to ultra short throw, you can swap it out to 1,000 lumens, or you can drop it at 4 to 5. We can do that in the middle of demonstrations easily and not miss a beat. And the reason why we could do that, because we test our screens on 1,000 lumens. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be increasing the videos on our account. We have an account, on the site, we have a page called 1,000 Lumen Test, and you can go in there and look it up. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, and you could pull up our 1,000 Lumen Test, which we have over here. See that right little area right there? Now, again, this is why I said at the end of the day, the individuals, you know, a person's being challenged on this in court. We're taking him to court. We're going to challenge him on what he said out of his mouth. He made this statement. So now he's going to have to be backed up in court that our screens basically, we're using high-end projectors in order to make our white levels higher. And if he loses this, he's going to be sued for it. Because, again, you're not going to make false statements about my product when I've done all this testing. So good luck on that lawsuit. That's another separate lawsuit already. We're filing against, we'll have Danny's real information very soon. But I'm not going to mention it on camera. We won't be doing that. But we'll have his, or not Danny, Wake. We'll have all his information very soon. So, this is what I had to type in. Pretty much 50 lumens, no particular projector. Guess what? In this demonstration, we show demonstrations at 50 lumen projectors because we done this test. This is why I own all these projectors, because I test my screens on multiple different versions. And none of these are done in dark environments. We have it right here. Spotlight right over top the screen. That's a 50 lumen portable projector. Done this one outside too.
That's where the gain comes in at. Now, with our technology, with our nanotechnology gain, I'm not going to tell you.
This is nano. This is the spotlight right there.
It's a nanotechnology gain. There's something different that we've been working on.
This is why I explain, be very careful about saying things that you really don't understand at the end of the day. You know? Because it can land you in court in some hot water. This is outside. 50 lumens display outside. This is on silver technology we're engineering.
So now having taken off the porches, usually when you have a porch over top of you.
So we took it off the porch because the porch was blocking a lot of light that was shooting down on top of the screen. 720p, 50 lumens, right there. Outside little Pico, right there. So, for the individual who made that statement, you'll be challenged in court. Now, we all know at the end of the day, it'll be open and shut. We won't be there that long. We could basically show our test demonstrations at 50, 200, 600. I bought all these projectors. You know, we've done these already. So when you make accusations that we're using high lumen projectors in order to produce higher white levels, this is slandering my company's name and credibility, which means now we're going to challenge you on this in court. Go outside on the walkway, do it again. I don't do these demonstrations. I do these demonstrations to make sure our products are working correctly, but also too to see exactly what our products are capable of doing.
You're outside. I brought a little farther down on the walkway. Right.
So that's 2019. That's the luminous product right there. I'm gonna go over here. See this? These are all 50 lumens. Every single one of these are 50 lumens. This is 50 lumens, 8 feet back. No, sorry, 9 feet back. On a screen with a ton of light hitting it. Let me show you right here. There we go. Condensed lighting making contact with the screen at only 50 lumens, 720p. I get a projector, man. I use the daylights out of them. I really do.
And that particular company right there, I got the projector for $150, and it's fantastic. Literally, it's brighter than the 200 lumens I have downstairs, which I don't understand, because I guess the Brookstones are older model. This is a newer model.
And that's a Brookstone. We do support those, by the way. We can support a Brookstone at 50 lumens on our screen.
Bottom of the page, where you can buy that projector for $150. They have it in 50 lumens. I think I saw one for 20, 50.
More 50 lumens. 50 lumens again. It's 50 lumens on a black screen. That's not 50 lumens right there. Here we go. Now we've done these dozens and dozens of times.
Skyward demonstration.
Let me see, 50 lumens. We can go to, let me see. This is why I have no problem with the environments we have to be in, because again, you have to be in fully lit environments when you do these demonstrations. Oh, this is beautiful. White level demonstration at 50 lumens. So we can generate in an office at 50 lumens. This is on ambient light rejection. FLE is much more powerful than this. All right, let's go. That's 50 lumens. So if we can generate at 50 lumens on a black screen, then that means it's 300, 400, 500, all that. That's a cakewalk for the technology, an absolute cakewalk. Let's go over to, and I didn't put any particular projector. It's going to say 50 lumens because those are the tests we've done. Let's pull up 200 lumens. 200 lumens. 200 lumens. There we go. These are all demonstrations on the 200 lumens projectors, right here. 200 lumens versus a TV. Demonstration, side by side. And on a laptop versus our Surface. At only 200 lumens. I did 200 lumens, push through glass, underwater. That's a 200 lumen projector. Versus the 1080p monitor. I've also done 1080p. When I talk to customers, I say, do I really need 4K? You need 4K if you're dealing with first of all, you're not supposed to be using 4K or 1080p on gray screens. They're not supposed to be used on that. This is for darker screens. That's what it's used for. Well, second, if you have a gray or white screen, you're going to have to use a high-end projector because, again, you can't pick up the detail and the contrast. You can't read it at all. You don't pick up colors correctly. So that's going to be an issue right there from the door. You got to pay for that inky contrast. You're going to need it because, again, your screen's going to have a really rough time picking up because you can't see contrast at all, period. So when we're in these environments, I'm going to be showing you some gray paints and these demonstrations. Every environment we go to, we're going to show you a white and gray screen, how it's going to react in that environment versus our technology, which is very important that we show that off. along with some of the demonstrations. And you will see in every single environment that I step into, gray and white screen can't even register. It won't read at all, period. Even certified won't read in there. So these are all, you can go to my account. This is where you can get all the information you need at 200 lumens if you want to. There's our Brookstone projector right there. All different sorts of demonstrations on there. If I wanted to come in and put in, let's put in 600 lumens. 600 lumens. See if we've done that projector too also. Demonstrations at 600 lumens right there. That's the Sony on a Supreme 12. That's my 600 lumen projector. Even have one on the unboxing, taking it right out of the box and displaying it.
And you can do this amount of lumens and that amount of lumens. You have to be sure that it can have some projector.
This is why I explain to people, be really careful what you say.
You have to have
this is how fast this lawsuit's going to end when I go to court. It's not even going to last that long. I'm going to walk in there, put your claim, because we have you on a claim on a video making this statement. This is what you're going to have to deal with, and then we're going to go in and show the multiple demonstrations that we have on these different caliber projectors that are way under 1,000 lumens. There's no way out of it. Clearly, there's no way out of it. That's why I say be very careful about what you say about companies at the end of the day, because companies will challenge you on what you just speak out of your mouth. So that's 1,000 lumens right there. I got to pick up another one of those too. My projector, that one shut down on me, so I have to go pick me another one up. And you see the difference? There's the white wall being hit right there on the side, and there is my technology right there.
Get it, not do it anymore. You know, it's just frustrating. We don't have enough cable. Cable won't go back to where it's go. Have enough contrast in the screen.
White completely washed out. There's our technology poured up nice and bright on the reds. So that's 200 lumens right there on our projector we're using in that demonstration. We've done these outside quite a bit also too. Let's see. Let's go pull up out of our collection. Let's go pull. We got 900 lumens. Really? I shock myself sometimes on the stuff we use. We had a 900 lumen projector. What projector was that? Okay, I gotta look that up. I remember buying 900 lumens. We had 900 lumens. Oh, 900 lumens. 100 lumens. 900 lumens. Oh, we did have a 900 lumen projector. Interesting. We bought that. Okay. This was a 900 lumens versus a 15,000 lumens fake projector demonstration. What projector was this?
Okay, how are we doing out there today for
900.
My name's Kenneth.
What if it was a Sharp?
Ambient light projection screen paint.
Using
ambient light projection technology.
Interesting.
Even at 900 lumens, I told you I can get a
Oh, we did have a 900 lumen. These are the Relic collection. I bought a bunch of really old projectors off eBay. I mean, these things were super old. These things had black BGAs. When you start getting black BGAs instead of blue, these are old projectors.
600 by 800? 600 by 800.
That is 900 lumens pushing off our screen.
Lamps for those run around $50. Interesting thing that the Christie 5.
Oh, I forgot we had this thing. That's a really old projector. I think it's a Sharp. It's one of them. It's a really old projector. So that's the knockoff projector on this side. That's the knockoff. And this right here is the old Sharp projector. I think it's a Sharp projector, an old BenQ. It's one of them, but it's really old. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Yeah, there we go.
The new one I ordered, lamps for that are $90.
So we've done 900 lumens. I have no idea. I know we did 800 too on top of that. Let me pull 800 too. We did 800 too on top of that. Let's go grab 800 lumens. Let me see. 800. I think the 800 lumens was a Sharp one. I think it was a Sharp. It was 800 lumens. Sure. There we go. There we go. 800 lumens. Mitsubishi, I paid $18 for this projector. $18 for this machine.
You're just better off just buying another TV.
That's an $18 projector. That would be the cheapest one we bought so far.
I don't need a smart TV. Put a fire stick in the back.
And now you see the distance that I'm sitting at. You don't see the projector anywhere because you're not supposed to do that. When I watch demonstrations and people use low lumen projectors, you can literally see the projector. You're not supposed to see the projector. It should be that far back you can't see it. And you should be standing where the projector is standing, not right on top of the screen. If they can see it, this way. The reason why you don't stand on top of the screen is because, again, number one, you need to show off the entire environment, how the entire environment is affecting the screen. If you're right up on top of it, you really can't tell what's going on. It's too close to the screen. It's like they're trying to hide something. You have to show the entire environment. And as you see, nice and bright all the way across. No dark areas. 900 lumens. Wow. I mean, sorry, that's 800. 800 lumens. Mitsubishi. Right there. 18 bucks. That's what I paid for that projector. $18. I would think that would be the cheapest one we bought so far. At $18. I'm gonna get me another one of those. $500. I can clean up. How many projectors I can get with $500? These projectors cost us like under 50 bucks. I could clean up on that. So that's why I said, from doing all these tests on different calibers of projectors and fully lit environments, guess what? Walking into a fully lit environment, piece of cake for a technology. Very easy to do.
But you're not going to lose a lot of power. It's not going to consume a lot of energy. It's not like you're going to plug in a projector and the next month you're going to...
Look at that. Look how insane that is. That's an $18 projector. This is why I tell people at the end of the day, stop buying knockoff projectors. Really stop buying knockoff projectors. You're wasting your money. Look at this. This is versus certified. This is certified versus our technology on an $18 machine. They can't register. This is why I explain to people at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference what you pay for your projector, your screen won't register. Can't read it, can't pick it up at all. All those projectors we owned, anything from 800 lumens, whatever, you can't read it at all.
The only thing I care about is the performance and how the screens react.
That's a $3,000 Dark Star 9 right there. It's not even reading the color.
See which ones perform the higher level brightness and contrast.
Starfield, they can't read it. They can't even see it. It won't register. At $18 for that projector, they can't even read a Starfield. It won't even pick up. Can't read it. You got to have an Infinity Black level to do it. Now, if you look at the environment very carefully, you'll notice that. See the sofa? Matches the screen. My sofa is jet black in this demonstration. See the soundbar? Soundbar also matches the screen. See the screen we have sitting over here? The screen matches the entire environment. See any trim we have in here black matches the screen. The screen doesn't come up gray. That's why with these fake products that are calling themselves pulling black levels, you would never ever be to sit in an environment with anything black in it, because again, they'll look at the screen and they'll see the difference. Not registering black. If you notice, my screen on this side has a black border around it. Look how the black border blends into the screen. You can't even see it. Actually, I'm going to be doing another border screen. That technology is going to come up so black you won't even be to see the border at all, period. So that entire environment is supposed to match that screen when you're looking around. This is the one thing I look at when I see screens calling themselves being black. I will look at objects in the environment and go, nope. Guess what? You're not pulling it up. Your screen came out that color. Your screen couldn't register. That's why we went through the whole missing state nonsense. Whole entire state missing off a shopping cart. Because again, we brought it over here. We painted it in. It would have matched nothing. We got a lot of black in here. There's no anywhere we wouldn't have picked up on anything. This is daylight screen. They're parallel. I butchered the name. I do apologize. Not to be disrespectful in any way, but yeah, that's their gunmetal technology. This is what we do. Our screens do to gunmetal. That is 800 lumens. Let me see something for a minute. We have 800 lumens. Let's see where we're at under the 2,000 mark. That's why I said if your products are labeled at a comfortable 2,000 lumens, you have actually alienated all projectors under the 2,000 mark. We can actually run projectors at 50 lumens and up under the 2,000 mark very easily. Let me see. Okay, 1,000 lumens. We've done the depth. 1,000 lumens. Just type that in. We don't have to put any particular projector. We've done it already. There's our 1,000 lumen demonstration. Oh, got to do 1,000. Oh, forgot. We got to be on our page to do this one right here because it'll bring it up out of my library. So let's go back to my library. Sorry about that, people. Let's go to my library. Here we go. There we go. Boom. These are all tests on 1,000. As a matter of fact, I got to increase our room. We have a room on there called 1,000 lumen demonstration. We've done about 60 to 70, maybe even more of these demonstrations. These are all on the Sony projector at 1,000 lumens. We even have them outside at 1,000 lumens. Sony C4S projector at 1,000 lumens. 1,000 lumens in the window. There's my projector right there. There's my projector right there again, and projector outside. You can go right to the site and check it out. There's a projector again in a maxed out environment. Keep in mind, your meter would have never read in that environment. That's literally how much light that environment was generating that meters did not pick up in. That's why we called it a max out zone. You're talking about properly reading the meter. And there's nothing about properly reading a reader if the meter can't function in the environment because there's so much light that the meter literally can't pick up. See this right here? This is one of the white levels tests you have to do at 1,000 lumens, fully lit environment, 13 feet back against a white surface versus your screen. And you have to show white levels in this demonstration, which is extremely important. And you must show color levels, the whole 9 yards. And you have to read this at 1,000 lumens. Now, these test demonstrations should be posted directly to the site, only to the site, but they should be in all shopping carts. That's what I believe in at the end of the day. If you're going to say your product runs at 1,000 lumens, you have to show it works at 1,000 lumens. And you should have at least over about 30, 40 videos on 1,000 lumen demonstrations on that screen. I mean, we do them to death. Why not? Now, gentlemen, if you look at the environment real quick, see how the color of my screen is? It's black. See the chair? Black. See the sound bar? Black. It matches everything in the environment because that screen is black. It's not gray. The ceiling's even black. The ceiling matches everything in the environment. See all the cords and wires we have down here? Everything, all this is matching the screen. That's how it's supposed to be. If that screen comes up gray, then that means that screen's not black. I really shouldn't be having this conversation at the end of the day. I swear it's just a waste of time. It is actually a waste of time explaining to people that, forget it. I don't even want to go down the road. Let's move on. Yeah, if I got to explain that at the end of the day, I'm in the wrong field. I got to go someplace else. If I literally have to have this conversation, if I ever walk into a forum site and I'm literally having a conversation about explaining to people what true black looks like over gray, you can't tell the difference between the two, I walk out of the chat room. I don't even bother being in there. It's pointless. It's literally pointless. It's absolutely pointless to have that conversation. It's like having a debate with a bunch of people that are convinced the sky is purple, and you're looking at it. We all know it's blue, but they're going to say, no, it's a purple sky. It's actually purple. I'm like, okay. At this particular point, this is when you have to put your hands up in the air and just turn your body around about face and go in a different direction. You have to, because again, they don't get it. But you'll find out. You get a bunch of complaints from customers. At the end of the day, they'll be very upset because your screen's not producing black. And they'll find it out when they put in a contrast level, turn the lights on. If you have to be in the dark for this, you're not reading contrast. And it's the same thing with certified. I told them the same thing. If you're going to be in the dark, guess what? Your screen's not working correctly. Why are you in the dark anyway with an ultra short throw? You shouldn't be in the dark with an ultra short throw. It's right up on top of the screen. I don't get the purpose of that. Okay, let's see. 1,000 lumens. Let's go with, I think we did 1,200. I'm going to see on that. I'm not sure if we did a 1,200 lumen projector on that one. 1,200. I know I've done 1,600. Let me see. 1,200. Have we done 1,200 yet? Oh, keep hitting the top area. We're not supposed to be up there. We're supposed to be on my. Then I got to pull up the Pacific projector if I do it that way. So let's go where we're going to be at here. I'm going to see if we did 1,200. I'm curious if we did 1,200. If we didn't, we need to buy one. 1,200. 1200 lumens. Let me see. Oh, that's my 4K projector right there. Oh, 1200. Nope, gonna make a purchase for 1200. Do we need it? No, not really. To tell you the truth, we've done everything from 50 on up, and no. Let me see. Let me go in and let me see if we did. We did 1500. I know that. 1500. That would be the Panasonic. Should be the Panasonic. Is that 1500 lumens? There we go. See, Panasonic right there. Panasonic at 1500 lumens. That one I want to buy again. That's a really good projector. I gave that away. I should have never gave that projector away. Well, it was good cause anyway. I'm not regret to give it away, but I should have kept it. That's 1500 lumens. Fully lit environment on wallpaper surface. I got that projector for 130 bucks. Again, I don't spend any money for projectors. It's the reason why we have so many. We don't spend any money. As a matter of fact, I was talking to a customer today that was going to spend $2,000 for a venue projector so they can display this football game outside. And I'm like, no, you're doing too much, man. Like, you really don't have to spend that kind of money at the end of the day. I showed him a demonstration at 250 inches. You know what that projector cost me? It's right there, sitting right behind me. $270. That's all it cost me. The reason why people go out and spend all this money for the expensive projectors is because, again, the screen fails horribly outside. The gray and white screens, they don't register. And you're not taking a $5,000 certified outside, I'll tell you that much at the end of the day. So you're not dragging one of them outside. You're going to take out the gray and white screen. It's going to take, and majority are going to be white screen at that. And the screen, it's going to wash out. So you're going to figure, I need to go out and spend the money for this expensive, high lumen projector with these crazy specifications just to get the screen to pull up, and then to find out that the color still is going to suck and the contrast is going to be bad. It's going to be extremely bad. So with our technology, those big giant screens we're displaying outside, 180 inch, dual 150 inches, dual 150 inch had 720p and 1080p side by side. You can tell which one was which. His projector cost him, I got him a Chrissy projector, 4200 lumens, and the projector is a 1080p model. We got him a 1080p model, found it for a good price, under $300. That's it. He was going to spend $2,000. Now, after buying our screen paint, which is around $364 for a gallon, and around $300 for the projector, that's it. That's all he spent. So what do you do with the extra money? Just put it in the bank, put it towards bills, whatever, at the end of the day. But you have to spend all that money at the end of the day. Now, see how clean that picture is? How beautiful it looks? Fully lit environment, nice and bright. See how you can see all my toys without nothing being cast in little dark corners? Everything comes up clean. How you can see all the objects? That's how it's supposed to be. That's why I had all my objects out there, because I've seen other people who had these toys and objects around their screens, and they're tucked in these little dark corners where you can't even make out any of the action figures because the environment's so dark. I need to pick another Panasonic up. That's a really good projector. We need to buy one. So that's a $130 projector. Look at the white levels pop. I had somebody talking about, well, this is going, or technology is going to change the projector industry. Yeah, it is going to change the projector industry. It really is. And the reason why, again, no expensive contrast needed. You don't have to pay for something that's going to be that expensive. You have to pay for all those bells and whistles. If we're running old projectors at the end of the day, and we look better than the new projectors that are running on white and gray screens, again, it comes down to your screen. Mainly it comes down to your screen. But again, you really don't have to spend the money. People spend all that money because they're trying to fix something that they think they're going to be able to improve, but technically you're not improving it at all, period. You get a slight little hiccup, and then you have to be in the dark anyway to get that hiccup to work, so it's not good. But we'll show you that this summer. I'll be going into multiple displays, multiple setups, and you'll see in every environment that we sit in, just like we showed you on site with gray and white screens, they don't register in the environment. They will not pick up on anywhere we stand at. They won't pick up. I don't care what projector we use. Heck, I got a 6500 lumen Christie. I got an LX 700 in my storage unit. I hit that on a gray screen, it's going to disappear because, again, that's 6,500 lumens of light making contact with the screen. It's going to wash it out even faster. White screen, it's not going to work. I've seen somebody over, I told you, at Best Buy where that person sold them a very expensive BenQ projector, 4K BenQ projector, and they sold them a white screen. Told that woman that she was going to get this amazing picture quality that shows on the side of the box. See this picture right here? You're going to get that on that screen. Oh, no, you won't. You won't even come close to that. Not even in a million years you won't come close to that. You might get it in your dreams, but that's as far as it's going to go. Can't get any, it's not going to happen. Let's go pop over to the 1500. I'm going to get me another one of those, the Panasonics. I got a list right now of projectors I will be buying, picking up. This is a 1500 lumen Sony VT47. Yeah, there we go. It's a Sony. We got our white screen on one side, and we have, oh, it's Bear. This is Bear silver screen paint right here. Bear silver screen versus our screen over here. I'm going to put a section on the site. We have one already, but I want one dedicated for all the tests and demonstrations we've done on gray products and white screens versus our technology. We're going to put a massive library on there for you guys to check that out. There's my projector right there. It's my NEC projector. These things are so cheap.
As we're doing this demonstration, our projector isn't sitting right up on top of the screen. The reason why is because
can't read it. Gray screen, bare silver screen, won't register, won't read. At 1500 lumens, it won't pick up. Done this. I've done this too many times to count. This is why when I come in and tell you from the door, you can go to my channel, you can check it for yourself. It won't pick up. On-air technology will register it. Now, keep in mind, it's 1500 lumens. If you mark your product at 2000 lumens, then that means you can't read on this projector at all, period. 2000 is what we call the comfort zone. I see it a lot in projection screens. Anytime we look at the screens, they always come with that comfortable 2000, because again, that way, if anyone goes under, you know what I mean, and their screen fails, and it probably will fail if they don't do the testing. It should do testing to see exactly where the screens actually stand at. Then they're more of a comfortable stage at 2000. But you just, like I said, alienated a whole lot of projectors by doing this. Every freaking Pico projector you cannot use. It won't run.
You know, if I can take a projector that was manufactured in 1970 and make it look this good on this screen.
I'm actually looking for a projector in 1970. I'm looking for a very old projector.
And if I can make it look this good.
Now, just like I said, if you're doing 35 millimeter film on maybe a 1.1 aspect ratio screen, you're watching black and white movies. This is where it gets really interesting right here. Black and white movies were originally shown on white screens. This is before black technology came out. Our technology can produce on a black and white movie. We can maintain our white levels, and if you put a white surface up there, we can maintain it with no problem. But the beautiful thing about it is, if you watch a black and white movie on a screen that posts an infinity contrast level, you are literally reading a 100% black level. Yep. So guess what's better for black and white movies? Black technology. Our black technology. I can't say everybody else's. I can't speak for them. I really can't speak for them. See the OLED display? It's not supposed to come in gray. It's not supposed to come in white. It's supposed to be black. I've seen people pull up on these and they'll sit there and go, oh no, I'm actually pulling up black. Nope. You see the chairs over here? It matches all our chairs. Everything that comes up in black matches that surface. This is going to be interesting. We're going to be doing these really heavy, well-lit environments. And these environments, I'm going to do OLED displays in there with no problem. They can't wait to get a kick out of that. Like I said, they're using white screens in there. So we're going to be doing demonstrating. We're doing gray paints in there. We're going to do some gray paints in there, but majority be white, because we're going to be going against those screens. Those screens are going to be really seeing when we go into these establishments. I doubt we're going to bump into a gray screen in there. I didn't bump into a gray screen in the other place I was at. Didn't bump into one. So that's our 1500 lumen mark, and so far we've done just about every kind of projector you can possibly name, because I was buying these up like crazy. I was wondering about this too. How old of a projector can we get? Let's see. Oh, I forgot. Is our microphone hooked up on this thing? Let me see if we get projectors that are manufactured in the 70s. I want a really old projector for fun. I need something really for fun. Get something really old. I think the oldest one I have is 1999. That's not old enough. I want one from the 70s. What kind of really can we get? I had a guy when I was going there to buy the projector. He's like, "Really? You want this?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I want this." I remember one time I was doing something and I was looking through eBay and I saw a projector in there. It was a relic. It was pretty old. Man, I rushed to grab that one, man. I rushed to get that projector. Why the microphone's not working on here? Let me see for a minute. Put that. Put that there. The microphone's in there. So why don't you just type in? I got used to the luxury of speaking. I did. I got used to the luxury of speaking. It's not. I just have to get another one. I hope this microphone didn't break. This is actually a real. Oh, there we go. Hopefully that worked. I think it did work. I'm not sure. Ah, no, it didn't. All right, we just do it the hard way. I'll get it to work. Definitely. I'm not gonna spend the whole video trying to jiggle cords to figure out this thing is running or not. But we'll get it to work. Because I need this microphone. Oh, this is a really good microphone too, by the way. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get me a really old. I'm gonna have a relic collection. Definitely going to do a relic collection. Let me see. It's gonna give it to me. There we go. No. We're good. Stop it. Enough with it. All right, enough. I said enough. Darn it. You know, it's funny. I'll sit here and I'll basically just talk and it'll pick up. This microphone is crazy. It'll pick up. But if I say certain things, I got to repeat it over and over and over again so it understands what I'm saying. Yeah. I got you loud and clear. Do you understand what I just said? I got you loud and clear. Do you understand what I said? I got you loud and clear. That's why I bought the microphone. This is literally why I bought it. It's perfect. You can just sit there and talk and then just say everything you're saying. Da 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 da. Fantastic microphone. Definitely worked every penny, and it was cheap too, extremely cheap, and it's perfect. I can just sit there and just talk, and that thing would just write everything I'm saying. It's way over here. Fantastic mic. I wish the Fire Stick worked that well. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? It'd be screaming at the fire. Or Alexa, when you got to scream at that thing at the end of the day. You hear people in the background, Alexa, I said lights on, lights on. Did you say lights on? I said light. No, forget it. Just forget it. Just turn your lights on. Got to argue with that. You know what they're talking about next? And I'll tell you, with technology getting more and more advanced, it scares the crap out of me. Self-driving cars? No, we are not doing this. They're talking about designing a car that, and this is going to put the repo guy out of business, that if you don't make your payments, the car takes off. It leaves. You know how crazy that is? So instead of the repo guy coming and take your car will know that you defaulted on payments and turn itself on and take off and go back to the sender. Or I guess it would be the sender, right? Yeah, it would be the sender. But then again, that means you don't have to buy cars anymore. You don't really have to go to the dealership to buy a car. They can just have it drive to your home. That scares me, because you know why? This is a machine this is a car with a couple, well, the plastics weigh tons now, I don't know, not anyway. But anyway, it's still not big enough vehicle to kill you. There are going to be mistakes. In any form of technology developed, you're going to have mistakes. Things are going to happen. Malfunctions are going to go wrong. The more complicated they are, they're going to go wrong. You see, I don't know if you've seen they got these delivery vehicles that you've seen them on TikTok. I made it on TikTok, and people, I don't know, they got it from COVID. And you put your food in it. Using that, they put food in it, and these things take off down the street. But they get hijacked. People jump those things. They take them apart. They take parts, all kinds of stuff off of them, and they take the food out of them because these things have no way to defend themselves at all. Period. When they're traveling, they get stuck in snow. They have all kinds of computer coding issues where they pass next to each other. They have complications. You remember the old Radio Shack cars with the metal antenna on the back of them? And if you got too close to your buddy, yours just stopped working all of a sudden. It wasn't working anymore. That kind of nonsense. So, yeah, you imagine that being a vehicle at that? Yeah, I can see someone being killed by one of these things and massive lawsuits striking left and right. Not a good idea at all, period. Just let the repos keep their job. You know what I mean? If you don't make your payment, these guys just pull up and take your vehicle. But don't have this thing take off and just drive off. God forbid someone's walking in front of it, walking on the driveway, this thing starts up and takes off and doesn't really It just malfunctions and you kill a bunch of people in the process, or go through someone's house, even worse. Yeah. What the frick are we doing over here? Oh yeah, relic projectors. You know, old projector. Projectors in the 1970s. Projectors in the 1970s. Ooh, my goodness, a slideshow. That's giving me flashbacks to slideshow. We had a neighbor like this who always went on trips and came back with slideshows. You ever been to a slideshow before? If you've been to a slideshow, you know the horror of it all. Then they, oh my goodness, hours and hours and hours. It would take forever just to get out of that freaking room. Because then they would go back and they have a conversation about the whole entire trip, that one particular section. Take 9 hours on that one section. Why Frank decided to jump in the pool with a lit cigar. Oh, I used to hate those neighbors so much. And they wonder why they got flaming bags of crap on their front porches, because you kept coming over with them slideshows. They would gather the family all together, like, look at this slideshows. The Franklins went to Disney World. Good gracious, I really don't care. I just want to go outside and dig a hole. Okay, let me see what we got here. Oh my goodness, I remember these. Give me flashbacks. Gee, I forgot these magnifiers. These are the school technology overhead projectors. Man, these things could blind you and burn you at the same time. These things used to get super crazy hot. Wow, I forgot about those. I wonder how much power those things were actually using. They were quite powerful. This is my era of technology right here. Oh, I gotta look up some of this stuff right here. The reel-to-reel. I'm gonna buy one of those. The reel-to-reel. I remember this. I remember having these in school. We had the reel-to-reel. He turned out all the lights. The guy would come in and he would basically feed the film through, and you get that, and lines be pulling up and down, and then every once in a while the tape would give away and it would just start click, 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 and the kids would be making all kinds of puppets on the screen. Puppets, shadow puppets, yeah. But I remember these freaking nightmares. These things were freaking nightmares. If you ever actually been around one of these things, you get blinded and burned at the same time. These things got insanely hot. I'm surprised they even passed. They were legal to have. These things were extremely dangerous. And that's how you get burned. Viewmaster, really? Oh, these were slideshows in the 70s. I forgot about that. Well, I do remember because I was born in 1968, so in the 70s I would have been in that era. Not so much in the 60s, but in the 70s, yeah. I did live through the 70s as a kid. Wow, man, this brings back a lot of freaking memories. Gee whiz Louise. Whew. Yeah, I remember these. My brother had one of these. The reel-to-reel, all of them. Gee whiz. Let me see. Let's go with the 80s. Chances are you get CRTs. Maybe the CRTs will pop up. 80 projectors. Ooh. 1980. That is super old. Oh my goodness. Front projection TVs. I remember these things. Oh, if you look at them now, they had god-awful pictures. But when you basically, at that particular era, man, they were absolutely amazing. If you had one of these, you were the kid on the block to have one of these. Of course, you couldn't run anything through it because I think these things were front projection. Yeah, you would burn stuff into the screen if you played any of the games on it. There we go. The dreaded nightmare slideshow machine. I hated that machine so much. So what do we got here? So when did these projectors really start popping? Oh, here we go. So we got it. Look at this. There it is right there. Look at that. The CRTs. Gee whiz, these things are freaking huge. I'm gonna get me a CRT one day. The only problem with the CRTs is the shipping cost is crazy expensive. If you look them up on eBay, they are crazy expensive. They're so huge. Usually most people want you to just come by. They want local. You got to be locally to pick it up. But if you're getting somebody to ship it across, it's going to be very expensive. Like buying a vending machine through eBay. Oh my goodness, the slideshows. Man, 70s, that's right around the time. If you're doing photographs, you weren't using the I forgot the rooms they used for developing film. My brother used to do it. It's a red room, it's all red. I know the photo development room was all red in there, but yeah, I remember him going there and developing photos. He had to use some serious chemicals to do that. and to be a bit of a chemist when you're basically developing film. Wow, I forgot about all the hardships. We didn't seem like the hardships then, but now when you look at it, like, wow, we went through all this. So old some of this technology is. Whew, 1980, Mitsubishi 50 inch. 50 inch was considered to be huge if you had one of these. Look at this. This was considered to be a huge TV. At 50 inches, the Mitsubishi Movie Vision Projection TV of 1980. Look at that. This is one of the things I love to do, is I like to go back and I like to watch the old Xena commercials on TVs when they came out, these old TVs. Oh man, and how they would talk about basically the era of what technology was at that time was at its peak, that you could basically change the color and the volume, all that with a remote control. Hold on, I'm gonna look at some other stuff, but I gotta go off topic for just a minute. I gotta look at this real quick. Um, Vintage Xena commercials on TVs. They butchered it. They literally butchered it. My goodness. I don't know what RCA, but Xena is where it was at. Well, how can you basically pick up everything I just said and you got that wrong? Vintage Xena commercial TVs. No, I butchered that myself. I'll forget it. It's pulling up Xena. Let's go older than that. RCA. RCA was around that era. RCA TV commercials. Vintage. There we go. All right. I know RCA was around that time, in that era.
If you're still watching television on a small screen set, you're missing a lot. Here, for example, is a close-up on a 10-inch set. See how much smaller it is than my head? Now I'd like to show you the same close-up on a 21-inch set.
21-inch. Imagine
Just
that.
look at the difference. She's as big as I am now. You can have big screen close-ups just like that. Close-ups as large as life with RCA Victor's great new 21-inch model, the Master 21, at the lowest 21-inch price in RCA Victor history, as little as $199.95. Visit your RCA Victor dealer soon. See television's greatest.
You get 35-inch for that price now, but that's crazy. That's it right there. 21 inches. I remember when the 25s came out. The 25s came out. They were the big screens at the time. You had a 25-inch. Mitsubishi came out with the Super 2, which was a 40-inch tube. That thing, the back of it was the back of a Honda. Literally, the front of a Honda, That's how big the back were. Those are the old CRTs. Sony Vegas, when they came out, were god-awful heavy. I used to work at Tweeters. I just could stand people who bought those things. The things were so heavy. You take out your back moving those things around. Let me see something for a minute. YouTube this right here. Wow, right here. Black and white TVs. Wow, look at that vintage Western House. I forgot about Western House. 17-inch. Linwood. Without this technology, we wouldn't have our stuff now. We wouldn't even have. You got to appreciate the older technology. Without these pioneers, you wouldn't have your stuff right now. None of this stuff. Nothing you have. And the fact
you've seen part one away from it.
You want to feel like you're in the future? Watch these demonstrations on your cell phone that you can watch all this on. You can click off your cell phone and make phone calls and surf the internet, and you can do all that on your phone compared to what they were doing back then. This is how you know you're in the future already.
So, let's turn to our Westinghouse program.
Western House.
One hand behind my back. Well, I wonder what Betty Furness is going to do with one hand behind her back like that.
Come with me, and I'll show you what every one of you...
You didn't get that, did you? You didn't pick that up, did you? They did stuff back then. People thought things were wholesome. No, they said dirty things back then. Literally, he just sat there and said, you see where her hand was shaped. I hate to put it that way. He said, what is she going to do with her hand like that with one hand behind her back? I told you, you got to listen to some of this stuff. Look at her hand. Disney's known for doing this. Disney's known for doing weird stuff in movies.
Act like that. Well, I wonder what Betty Furness is going to do with one hand behind her back like that.
Come with me, and I'll show you what every one of you can do single-handed. Here, you can tune in this wonderful new Westinghouse television set with just one hand like this, because it has the sensational new Westinghouse single-dial control. There's no more fussing with several dials. You just turn this one dial, and you're tuned in perfectly. Now, in the set that you're watching now, does a channel ever come in like this and give you only sound? Or, when the picture comes in clear like this, is the sound ever so hard to get that all you hear is this?
Can you imagine people wanted this?
Well, that never happens with this wonderful new Westinghouse set because of the miracle of Westinghouse synchro tuning. Picture and sound come in together just like that.
You see, these had tubes on the back of them.
This set stays locked in tune.
Locked in tune. That means your channel go when you turn it on. It's amazing how I remember coming up and we had TVs that had tubes in the back of them. Tubes. Now they're all microchips now. Man, this is crazy. Because you had to worry about when you were clicking your channel, you had to get it just right. You had to use the rabbit ear antennas, and then they came up with the digital ones, they had little dials in the front of them, the little computer ones they had. And then if you had like any kind of like cable service, you had that huge, massive antenna waving back and forth. The higher it went, the better your signal was. Oh my goodness, I remember all this stuff right here. Not this from this era, I wasn't even around. But I do remember having the TV that had the rabbit ear antennas and it had tubes in the back of it. And when you turn the TV on, you go, whoa, like it was loading up. When you would turn it off, the image would just shrink down, and then cut off. That's how it would cut off. Wow.
Now, here's something that will really amaze you. Here's the size of the screen in most table models. Now, let's compare it with this new Westinghouse screen. There. Now that's quite a difference, isn't it? Engineering improvements give you a huge 17-inch rectangular screen in this wonderfully compact new Westinghouse set. And it gives you a black glass tube, which means that you get a clear, sharp picture even in daylight. Now this...
So you said black, but technically the screens weren't black. They were actually darker gray screens back then. They didn't have jet black. But you see the road they were traveling on, right? Yep, they were traveling for darker tubes, more darker tubes. You need the screens to reflect more light, and they would absorb or reflect more light with TVs, and you would get better color because the screens can produce a more darker tube. Now we have OLED technology, which produces insanely infinity one contrast levels, and that's why the colors look absolutely beautiful because it reads 100% contrast. But this is the road they were traveling down. If you look at the history in TVs, you will notice that when TVs came out, they had this round tube to it, a round screen to it, and they were light gray, and then they got darker and darker. The Sony Vega that came out, that was actually a really dark gray screen. It had the really sharp corners to it, but still massively heavy TV. And I remember the first time I saw a flat TV was Magnavox. They showed a demonstration where these people were living in this really thin house, and they couldn't fit a TV in there, and they came with this very thin TV and hung it on the wall. And that was a big thing, having these thin TVs hung on the wall, even though they were a little bulky and big then compared to what we have now. But still, the screens just got darker and darker and darker, and then voila, here comes OLED, 100% black screen. So that's why I can understand when people have projector screens, why is your screen gray? Everything you literally have in your house has some kind of OLED technology embedded into it. Cell phones have it, VR glasses have it, your computer monitor and gaming monitors have it, but your screen's gray. There you go.
Set also has a built-in antenna, and that means that in many areas there's no installation of any kind. You save the entire cost of it.
I can't remember the last time I used an antenna.
Why put up with a set that isn't really up to date and has an old-fashioned small screen when you can get this wonderful new 17-inch Westinghouse set at a modest price? Just ask your dealer for the Westinghouse Linwood. There's no other set in its price range that compares with it. You can be sure if it's Westinghouse.
You know what's funny about that? That TV was probably extremely cheap. It was probably expensive then. Now that TV's probably freaking an arm and leg now. They're collectors now. 17-inch screen. 17-inch screen. That is absolutely. This is the stuff I love to watch. I can watch this all day long. Look at this. RCA floor model TV. Look at the remote control on this thing. And people will come in and joke about this. I said, why are you joking about this? Without this technology, you wouldn't have what you have right now at all, period.
Whoa!
me explain something to you. That floor model TV, even the ones they had in the more in the 80s, had the 80 floor model TVs had the digital controls, digital manual clickers on it. Nobody was going to steal that from you. Somebody could break in your house, they'll steal everything out of your house, but that TV will stay there. Those are backbreakers. You die lifting one of those things up. When you leave that house, the carpet will be brand new where that TV's sitting at. Everything else would pretty much, if it had furniture underneath of it and you moved it quite a bit, would pretty much show some fade to it. But you didn't move that TV. That was the TV that when it broke, you put another TV on top of it. Because no one wanted to move that monstrosity out. Those things were super freaking heavy. Yeah. No one would dare break one. Rob you one of those. It's a headache to get out the door. It's a headache to get in.
And here it is. The greatest advance in television since color television itself. The ultimate in performance and convenience. 7-function remote control color television.
7 functions.
So beautiful, it enhances any decor. Clean, modern styling.
Beautiful TV.
No knobs or gadgets in sight. Superb cabinetry, master crafted of the finest woods. But the outstanding feature of this great new color set, the one big feature that sets it apart, is an amazing new wireless wizard electronic remote control. So perfected, you can operate every control, all 7 functions, and each function is completely variable. Tint, color, brightness, volume, fine tuning, channel selection, on, off. You can tune either with the remote unit from your easy chair or use the push button panel in the cabinet. Here, hidden, is the push button.
Now see, I grew up with one of those TVs. My dad had one of these ultimate setups. It came in this giant cabinet and it had a 45, it had a 78 and 48. We can do 48s in there, but you had to have the adapters to do the 45, sorry, the 45s, and then the 78s or 72s you would have in there. So it had a record player and it had a stereo system. It also too had a TV on it, and I think that's, oh yeah, and it had an 8-track player. It had an 8-track player on it, and you had the 2 big speakers on each side, and that's what, you know, that was the ultimate setup right there. You had one of those. The things were freaking huge too. That was another thing. You was not basically, you're moving in one time. You was not moving back out. When you had to move, that's the one thing you'd remember. Like, oh God, we got to remove the TV out of here. This is going to take about 4 or 5 people to get it through the door. It was one of those episodes. But those right there, yeah, you see the tuning. Yeah, because before you had to get up or either get your little brother to go be the remote control today. Somebody was remote control for the day, was going to go in and change the channels, because you sure enough didn't want to get up and change it. Man, and now look at it now, the TVs, super ultra flat, lay against the wall. You have freaking, like, it's just unbelievable what you can do to them now. You could basically surf the internet with them, go on Netflix and watch movies, download stuff. Somebody can even order food, all kinds of stuff. Amazon, the whole 9 yards. Oh my goodness, I just find it freaking amazing. Let me see. What they had for vintage projectors. Well, vintage projectors are all white rooms. All white rooms. If you had, back then, if you had a projector, it wasn't in your front area. It was called a projection room. Yeah, it was some money. You had some money. That means you had a special dedicated room to the side where you had a showing room where your guests could come in and you could watch movies in there. That would be your showing room, your little theater room. That's what it would be. It's like a dedicated setup. This is where people got to the point they started debating whether or not projectors were really needed to be used in everyday well-lit environments. And a lot of people were preaching that projectors were just meant to be used in very dark environments. But again, we passed all that now. So that's not needed at all, period. Yeah, this we go. Here we go. Somebody's got one of these.
Attention bargain hunters.
They got
don't miss out. Here's a free backpack.
1969 RCA. Yes. I don't want to play the voice when people are doing it. I don't like to play their voices. This is one of my dad had something like this. Mine was, he was in he had an all white case with little silver going through it, like gold going through it, gold lines going through it, and the speaker were done in this kind of fabric, this kind of black fabric, kind of like a little shiny silver to it. That's what he had. You was not. You carry this thing in, this is the last time you ever wanted to do it. Somebody broke into your house, they were not taking that at all, period. Look at this. Yeah, it's just still working, mint condition. Amazing, awesome. That is actually beautiful. There's a record player right there. Beautiful. Oh yeah, he had it because of the music, copyrighted music. Look at that, man. Well, his is a newer model. He had a little digital to his. His was mostly analog.
The automatic shut off needs some work.
That is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This is why I love looking at the past technology versus the newer technology, because this is all where it all came from. The reason why we have the technology we have today. Look at this, look at the back of it. This the transistors, the tube TV. Gee whiz. Yeah, your tubes went out. They bring a TV repairman will come in and replace your tubes. Come back and say, hey, Mac. Yeah, this tube right here, they're not easy to get. They make them overseas, so chances are it's going to be about probably, I say roughly, about 3 weeks that we get this thing in. It takes a while to get these in. And again, you know, the import costs, you got to pay for the import costs and all that stuff. This is what better what companies manufacture their parts here in the United States and stop manufacturing their parts overseas and to pay for that expensive cost at the end of the day. Projector setups of the 1970s. Oh, yes, doing the reel-to-reel. Do we have any of the old-time movies on here? Or the old ones? Projector videos. I'm going to be looking at this tonight. You know what? Definitely going to be looking at these tonight. I look at everything from the cell phone. I watch documentaries on RCA when it came down, Bell Atlantic, all of them, when it came down communications, and basically companies when they started doing radio. When radios became more like, most of it was like more like going into a studio, and you would have to basically, you would have to make the show come to life. You would have all kinds of special effects to make it come to life and tell these stories. And then basically video came into play. And this is where radio died. Radio started to die because of video. As a matter of fact, now because everything's streamed, I'm surprised radio still actually exists. But it does, which is still fantastic because it's been around forever. I hate to see it go. Look at the history of the VCR, the history of the, let's see, history of the VCR, the history of the, I remember when the laser disc came out. Oh, that was a waste of money. That was a waste of money. It had a good library and all, but it didn't last long. Let me see. Yeah, I'm excited about our whole new adventure and what God has planned for us. So happy about that. I'm not going to waste too much of your time. I'm sorry, because I'll be in here all day looking at this, and I don't want to bring you in on all this, but yeah, it's just, I love this stuff so much. This is beautiful. Look at that. I want to set up like this. I remember that sound too. You never, if you were born in that era where basically, you know, they did the audio and video, did reel to reel, you never ever forget that sound. I'm gonna get one of these sooner. I'm gonna get me a little room set up for old-fashioned, get it set up like an old-fashioned kind of style setup for movies and stuff, and do a 1.1. So everybody thinks it's 4.3. Now 4.3 is actually 1.1 aspect ratio for that particular screen. All right, well, I'm gonna get back. I'm actually done. I'm happy. I got a list of places, called them up. The rent is actually extremely affordable. Some of these places are $50 an hour, which is fantastic. I'm only gonna be in there for like maybe 2 hours at the most. That's all basically. And then the fact that I don't want to rent something for a year. I don't want that at all, period. I need places that we can go to and we can rent out for the day or rent out for a couple of hours. I'd rather prefer a couple of hours because, again, I'm not going to be in there for a whole entire day. I got things to do. But a couple of hours are fantastic. And we found about 8 or 9 already that we can have access to do our demonstrations. And a couple of them actually are office buildings, art studios. There's actually one I'm looking at an art gallery. It's like an art gallery. It's a huge art gallery, and they got a showroom that we're going to be able to rent out too. So this is fantastic. I don't know why I didn't think about this sooner. This would have been a fantastic idea. I do want to keep videos separate from my house. I'm in the process of getting one of those little, a nice, it's a good size little home. I like it. I freaking fell in love with it. But I want to keep that separate. I don't want people knowing where I live at. I want to keep everything separate. And again, we're already going to court we had to file several charges for stalking charges on individuals that don't know how to act right. Oh, such a stupid people. And that being in court, I had to go down to the courthouse and file more stuff today. Ugh. At least I'm going to be reimbursed on all this money I'm spending for this mess. But anyway, the FLE technology is scheduled for the 12th, so we need to get our testing and everything done before then. And so we can get that product and off and ready to go. And the rest of the screens will be hitting around the summertime. I got to be doing a lot of those demonstrations in and out of different environments, so that'll be cool to actually do those demonstrations. And we got to get consent forms, because again, if anyone's going to be popping up on camera, we're going to make sure we get their consent, so that way we don't get sued in the process, you know, without broadcasting someone's face without permission. That can get you in a lot of trouble. All right, well, that's basically about it. I don't take up much of your time. Thank you for popping in. Gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.